Good morning, students. Today, the topic which we are going to discuss is branching style programming. In the last class, we have discussed about the linear programming. Now, the learning objectives of today's topic are branching means you will able to understand the concept of branching, principles of branching programs. What are the different principles on which a branching program is to be made? Structure of branching program. What is the structure of a branching program? Techniques of branching program. What are the technique of a branching program? Advantages. What are the various advantages of branching program and disadvantages of branching program? Now, definition. A program instruction is a method of self-instruction. Means program instruction is a way of giving self-instruction that enlists machines or specially prepared books to teach information. And this definition was shared by Charles Jordan. Now, the different types of instructional program. The first one is linear programming, branching or instinct style programming, computer assisted instruction. Instinct style programming. Now, branching. Norman Coder, a contemporary of B.F Skinner, developed this model. So, the branching programming model was developed by Norman Coder, and who is the contemporary of B.F Skinner. His model focuses means Norman Coder model of branching focuses on problem solving, how to get the solutions of a particular problem from communication point of view, and the way of solving the problem is from the communication point of view. Now, principles of branching program. Principle of exposition, principle of diagnosis, and principle of remediation. Now, the first we will discuss the principle of exposition. The whole concept is presented to the students. Means the whole matter, subject matter, concept, information is presented to the students so that he can learn the complete information, so that the student can learn the complete information, the complete subject matter or the concept better, which is provided in the home page, and the whole information, the complete information about the concept, topic or the subject matter is provided to the learner in the home page by the programmer. It serves two purposes, means the principle of exposition serves two purposes, and these are the first one is teaching and the second one is diagnosis. Now, first we will discuss the principle of diagnosis. Here the weakness of the learner is identified, means the diagnostic principle of diagnostic helps the teacher to identify the various weaknesses of the learner in that particular subject or the topic. After exposition means after exposition and it is assessed whether the learner could learn what the causes are, and it is assessed whether the learner could learn that particular topic or concept or content, what the causes are, what are the various reasons why the learner is not able to learn that particular topic, content or the subject matter, and then it is modified. And after knowing what are the reasons why the learner is not able to learn those concepts, the programmer will modify it. Now, principle of remediation. If a learner chooses the wrong alternative, Means the programmer has developed the program, the content, the information is shared with the learner, and if the learner, after reading the information complete concept, then then also the learner gives the wrong alternative or the wrong response, the learner has to move to wrong page. The learner will move to the wrong page where a remedial instruction is provided. Now, when a wrong alternative has been selected, choose by the learner, given wrong response, what will happen? That take the learner to a wrong page where a remedial instruction is already provided by the programmer. Now, the learner has to refer those instructions and the student is directed to return to home page, and in that there will be a direction, and that direction is given to the learners that they have to return to the home page. Now home page will have all the information, all the content and the subject matter, and she is asked to choose the right answer. And then again it was asked from the student to choose the right answer, the correct response. Now, structure of branching program. This program text means the branching program text is called scrambled text. Means we call the branching program text as a scrambled text. This consists of two type of pages. Means the scrambled text consists of two type of pages. The first one is home page and the second one is wrong page. Now, home page. This page consists of content. Means in this page it's include all the content or concept or the concept which we are going to teach to the learners, and followed by, after the content or the concept has been shared by the programmer, it will include multiple choice questions. It will include multiple choice questions and which involve four aspects. And these multiple choice questions that has been included by the programmer, it will have four aspects. The first one is teaching. The learner goes through the instructions to comprehend the concept of information. The first one is the teaching, and in that it includes the learner goes through the instructions which has been given to the learner to comprehend means to understand the concept or the information, means the learner will understand the concept or the information related to the concept or the content. Now the response at the end of the instruction, means after the learner has gone through the concept or the content, after that some multiple choice questions will be there. Multiple choice is given to the learner, means it will include multiple choice questions for the learner to choose the correct response, and from the question, and there are multiple responses to those questions, the learner has to select the correct response, what will be the correct answer for that particular question, which the learner has to discriminate. Means the learner has to select the correct answer or has to give the correct responses on the basis of the choices that has been given by the programmer. The response is in string. Now the third is diagnosis. If the learner chooses the wrong response, means if the learner chooses the wrong, incorrect response, he has to move to the wrong page. Now, he has to be moved to the wrong page. The instructions will take him to the wrong page. If he chooses the right response, or if the learner has selected the correct response, he moves to the next home page. Means from there he will move to the next home page, and again that home page will collect or will have all the information, all the concept, all the content thoroughly in depth, where the next unit is presented. And when he moves to the next home page, and that next page will contain collect all the information, all the content, and all the subject matter is presented, and that matter that has been presented to in front of the learner through the home page was the next unit. Now, reinforcement. The response is reinforced by confirming it at the beginning of the home page. Hence, the learner is encouraged through verbal approvals or praise. Means when the learner will give the correct answer or the correct response, he will be encouraged, he will be get the reinforcement. As the learner is encouraged through verbal approval, he will get some verbal approval for the responses that has been given by the learner, or he will be praised for giving the right answer, the correct response. Now, wrong page. What is the concept of wrong page? Wrong page or remedial frame involves means it involves three things. The first one is repeating students' response. Now, it's include the first thing is that repeating students' response, the response which was given by the student, in that we have to repeat that response of the student. Negative confirmation, reason as to why he is wrong, and the reason why he has given the wrong response, the incorrect response. Now, further explanation in a single language, directions as to where the learner should go next, and some directions should be given by the programmer to the learner from where he has to go, from the wrong page where the learner has to go next. Now, technique of branching program. There are two techniques of branching program. The first one is backward branching, and the second one is forward branching. Now, backward branching. What do you understand by the concept of the backward branching? If the learner make an error, means if a learner makes some error, or he has given an incorrect response, or he has made some mistake, he has to take to the remedial frame from where the learner has make a mistake or given a incorrect response. From there the learner will be taken to the remedial frame where he is given some more help. In that remedial frame, some help, more help will be given by the programmer to the learner in understanding the concept. Means it can include some examples, and that examples will help the learner to understand the concept in a better manner and solving the problem. And the remedial frame will help the learner to solve the problem which he or she is facing. Means the remedial frame will contain some concepts, some subject matter, detailed information other than what has been shared by the programmer, and that information will help the learner to understand the concept in a better manner and to solve the problems which they are facing. He is is then directed to the original frame number 1 after the remedial frame, in which he will got the concrete information related to the topic, so that he can clear his doubts and clarify his problems. He is again directed from there to the original frame number 1. It is being instructed in the program that now you can go to the original frame number 1. So the learner goes through the same frame twice. Now, learner has already go through that particular frame. After the instruction, after the remedial frame, and instruction will be there that again goes to that original one. So the learner goes through the same frame twice. Now what will happen? At what it makes that the learner will again read the same frame second time. Once before the remedial material is referred by him. Once before the remedial material is referred by him, and the second time after the remedial material is referred to him. Now, forwarding branching. When the learner gives a correct or wrong response, he goes to the next audio page. Now, the forward branching is that in which the learner whether gives a correct answer or the correct response, or the wrong answer or the wrong response, he goes to the next on new page. If he makes a wrong choice, if the learner has given a wrong choice and incorrect answer, he is directed to the remedial frame. Means if the learner has given a wrong answer, an incorrect answer, a wrong choice, then from there, from that particular frame, the learner is being directed to the remedial frame, where his mistakes are fully explained. In that remedial frame, the learner will get all the information. What are his mistakes? Which mistakes has been undertaken or done by the learner, and the whole concept will be fully explained by the remedial frame. The whole concept will be made understood by the learner. This is followed by another parallel question, from which he goes to the next frame in the mainstream. After the remedial frame, means after the remedial frame, it will be followed by another parallel questions. Means there will be some parallel questions, from which he goes to the next frame. And from those parallel questions, we will take the learner from one frame to the next frame, and that next frame in the mainstream. Means the learner will again comes to the mainstream frame, from where he goes to the next frame in the mainstream. Now, the different advantages of program instructions. The first one is program instructions are more successful in critical sagacity. Now, what is means the discriminate? Means these program instructions, if the teachers are following the program instructions or teaching the students with the help of the program instructions, these are more successful in critical sagacity. Of the logic, where the students or the learner has to apply a logic of various subjects, numerous subjects, and inspiring students, and it will inspire the students. Among the students, creative thinking, it will develop among the students the creative thinking and judgment. Good teachers are freed from the humdrum of routine classroom activities. Sometimes teachers got bored by teaching the same teaching methodology. If the teacher will change the method of teaching from the traditional methods to the program instruction method, then the teachers will be freed from the humdrum of routine classroom activities, and they are in a position to devote their time to more creative activities. And that time that will be saved by the teacher, and that time they will devote to more creative activities. They are in a position to devote that time to more creative activities. The use of program instructions has potentials to improve the quality of education in general. Means the program instructions that being developed for the learners to learn, and these programs has the potentiality to improve the quality of education in general aspect. It helps a teacher to diagnose the problems of the individual learners. Means it will help the teachers. Means the program instruction through the help of the program instruction methodology or technique of teaching. The teacher can diagnose the various problems which the learners are facing to learn a particular concept or a subject matter or a content. The use of program learning has brought a revolution in the social settings of the classroom. Means the program learning methodology or the program learning instruction technique has brought a revolution, has made a change in the social settings of the traditional classrooms. Many emotional and social problems have been eliminated if the teachers are using the program instructional technology or the technique or the method to teach the students. It has eliminated many emotional and social problems which the students are facing, and problems of discipline, and it's also able to solve the problems of discipline which the teachers are facing during their traditional classroom teachings have been solved automatically. Means the program instructions technique or a method of strategy will automatically solve these problems automatically. Program instruction is a great thrust in the direction of individualized instructions. Means the individuals will able to learn at his own pace. They will able to learn when they want to learn, how much they want to learn. So the program instruction can be considered as a instructional technique where it will go to the direction of individualized instruction. A well organized program instruction which is being fully prepared by the teacher. The objective has been clear. Instructional device is tailored to cater to the needs of individual students of the learner of the class. Now, what is that? If a program instruction is being well organized, well planned, then that instruction device is able to satisfy the needs of the various learners present in the class, various needs of the learner, the various learning styles of the learner, how they want to learn, what are the learning strategies that will be adopted by the learners, individual differences of the learner. All these things will be easily catered by the teacher if a well organized program instructions will be given to them from where they have to learn. Now, by presenting the learner materials in small segments of information, means where the subject matter will be shared by the organizer in small frames. It makes learning an interesting game in which the learner is challenged by his own capabilities. Now, when the information will be shared by the programmer in small frames, it's make the learning interesting for the learners and in which the learner is challenged by his own capabilities. Now, the disadvantages of program instruction. What are the or what were the various disadvantages which are related to the program instructions? The first one is program instructions does not eliminate competitions of grades and often claim. Means program instructions also not able to eliminate the competition of grades that is being uh, among the learners always, as often claimed. Program instructions claim that it will eliminate the competition of grades among the learner, but it not able to do so. Mere manipulation of the machines is not rewarding. Once novelty wears off, means as the new thing, newness comes to an end, or if too many errors appear, if the learner is consistently doing so many errors, the student lose interest and motivation. What it means that if the learner will give the correct answer, if the learner is responding in a correct manner, then she or he will not lose interest and he will be motivated to do the program learning and to learn from the program learner as quickly as he wants. But what happens when he is continuously making errors? Then what will happen? The student will automatically lose his interest to learn from the program instruction and he will not be motivated to go further and to learn from that. Later reinforcement often do not accelerate learning. Later reinforcement means the reinforcement that is immediate, that is given to the learner only when he has responded or given a correct answer. Then he will motivate to go further. But later reinforcement often do not accelerate the learning among the learners. Program instruction restricts the learner's freedom, means it restricts the learner freedom of choice relating in cramping of his imagination and initiative. Operant conditioning is found successful only with some students in some cases and not in all. Means the operant conditioning learning theory cannot be successful or cannot be applied to all the students, those who are in the class, and it can be applied to only some students in some cases and not the whole class. Program instruction ignore or make inadequate provisions for variables like cognitive, personality, and motivational variables. Means program instruction when a programmer is constructed through the program instruction method, he is ignoring or make inadequate provisions for variables like cognitive aspect, the personality aspect, and the motivational aspect. So, today we have discussed the instructional approach, the types of instructional approach, and the type which we have discussed today is the branching program. And then we have discussed the meaning of the branching program, different types of branching program. Then we have discussed about the backward and the forward techniques of branching programs, the principles of branching programs, different advantages and disadvantages of program instruction. For further reading on these topic, you can refer these references. Now, let us discuss some MCQs, as MCQs are the best way to learn how much you have learned or have understood that particular concept. MCQs are the best way to know the learning outcomes of the learner. Now, the first one, who stated that means who has given that particular definition. A program instruction is a method of self instruction, means it's a method, it's a way of giving self instructions that enlists machines or specially prepared books to teach information. And that self instruction method of teaching enlists machines or specially prepared books to teach information. Now, the options are whether this definition was given by Charles Jordan, B. Bacon, C. Alexander, or it's given by John. So, student, these are the options. Now, you have to select the correct one on the basis of the given choices, and the correct answer will be option A, that is Charis Jordan. Now, the second one, branching model focuses problem solving from communication point of view. Now the options are A, branching, B, linear, C, computer, or it's D, program instructions. So these are the options, and which model focuses on problem solving from communication point of view. So the correct answer is option A, that is branching. Now the third one, the whole concept is presented to the dash. The whole concept, the whole information, the whole subject matter that the teacher wants to teach is presented to the dash, to whom it is presented, so that he can learn the complete information, so that he can learn the complete information which is being presented by the teacher, better which is provided in the home page, and that complete information is provided by the programmer in the home page. Now the options are A, students, B, teacher, C, mentor, or it's D, guide. Now these are the options, students. Now you have to select the correct one on the basis of the given choices, and the correct answer will be yes, the correct answer will be option A, that is students. So the whole concept, the whole information is presented to the students. Now the fourth one, the program text is called dash test. If a programmer is preparing through the branching method, then the program test is called dash test. So the options are A, scrambled, B, defined, C, concept, or it's D, example. So students, these are the options A, B, C, D. Now you have to select the correct one on the basis of the given choices, and the correct answer will be yes, the correct answer will be option D, or it's option C, or it's option B, or it's option A. So the correct answer is option A, that is the program text is called as scrambled text. Now the fifth one, principle of dash serve two purposes, teaching and diagnosis. Now which purpose we are talking about, and which principle will serve these two particular purposes, and the purposes are teaching and diagnosis. Now the first one is A, exposition, whether it's the principle of exposition, B, detail, whether it's the principle of detail, C, principle of content, or it's D, principle of topic. So students, these are the options. Now you have to select the correct one on the basis of the given choices, and the correct answer will be Yes, the correct answer will be option A. That is principle of exposition. Now the sixth one, in principle of dash. A learner chooses the wrong alternative means the learner has selected the wrong answer. The learner has to move to a wrong page where a dash instruction is provided. So, in which principle that happens? The correct options are A. Remedial, B. Exposition, C. Diagnostic, or it's D. Detail. So it's a principle of remedial. So in principle of remedial, a learner chooses the wrong alternative. The learner has to move to a wrong place where a remedial instruction is provided to the learner. Now, in principle of dash, the weakness of the learner is identified after exposition. Now, what is that particular principle through which we are able to know the weaknesses of the learner? Now the options are A. Remedial, B. Exposition, C. Diagnostic, or it's D. Detail. So students, these are the options. Now you have to select the correct one on the basis of the given choices, and the correct answer will be option C. That is diagnostic. Means through the principle of diagnostic, the teacher comes to know the weaknesses of the learner. Now, eighth one, dash text is consist of two types of pages. Which text is consist of two type of pages? Options are A. Scrambled, B. Content, C. Detail, or it's D. Diagnostic. So these are the options. Now you have to select the correct one, and the correct answer will be yes. The correct answer will be option A. That is a scrambled text is consist of two type of pages. Now the ninth one, dash consists of concepts and followed by multiple choice questions. Now, which is consist of concepts, and after the concepts has been shared, it has been followed by a multiple choice questions. Now the options are A. Home page, B. Multiple page, C. Front page, or it's D. Pics page. Now, students, these are the options A, B, C, D. Now, you have to go through all these options and you have to select the correct one on the basis of the given choices. So, the correct answer will be yes, students. What will be the correct answer? Yes, the correct answer will be option A, that is home page. So, we can say a home page is a home page which is consist of concepts, means some concept, information, or subject matter will be shared to that particular home page or the page by the programmer to the learner. And after that concept, that subject matter or the topic being shared by the programmer, it is followed by multiple choice questions where a question will be there, and that question will consist of some choices. Now the 10th one, when the learner gives a correct or wrong response, means the learner has given a correct response, has given a correct answer or the right answer, or wrong response means he has given a wrong answer or a wrong response. He goes to the dash page. The learner will move from that page, or the learner will go from that particular dash to which page. So these are the options: A, next; B, old; C, traditional; or it's D, fixed. Now the student, these are the options A, B, C, D. Now you have to select the correct response on the basis of the given choices. And what will be the correct answer? Yes, students, what will be the correct answer? The correct answer will be option A, that is next. So the when the learner gives a correct or wrong response, when the learner gives a right answer or the correct response or the wrong response or the incorrect answer, he goes to the next page. Thank you, students. So today we have narrated you the concept of program instruction. That it's a instructional technique or the method of giving the instructions to the learner. Then we have discussed about the types of instructional. We have come to know that these are three types: linear, branching, and computer assisted instructions. Then we have discussed the branching program, the characteristics of a branching program. Then the purpose or the objectives of branching programs, the different types of branching programs, the backward or the forward way of branching programs. Then we come to know that in the branching program, the content, the subject matter, or the concept, the detailed information of that has been shared by the programmer to the learner. The learner has to go through the whole content, the concept, or the subject matter thoroughly in detail. Then, after that concept, the programmer had made some multiple choice questions. The learner has to respond to those questions. Whether the learner will able to give the right answer or it will give the wrong or the incorrect answer. If the learner has given the right answer to that particular question, then the learner will move to the next page, or the we will call at the next home page, where a next unit will be presented by the programmer to the learner. If the learner has given a wrong response or given an incorrect response, then the programmer will instruct the learner to go to that particular page, and that page is called the wrong page, where the learner will get the information or will get the remedy to get the solution of its problem. The programmer will use various methods to make the learner understand the concept in a better manner. After going through that remedial frame, again an instruction will be there by the programmer to the learner is that they have to again move to that same home page in which he has made some mistakes or given the correct incorrect responses. Again, after getting that instruction from the remedial frame, the learner will move to the same frame. The learner will go through the content again. He has to read the whole content, the subject matter, or the topic again. And after that, he will again do the multiple choice questions, and after giving the correct response, he will move to the next page The next home page and the next home page, the next unit will be presented by the learner to the programmer to the learner. Then we have learned about the concept that how to structure a branching program. Then after that we have discussed about the different advantages and the disadvantages that a program instruction is having. We have come to know that program instruction is a new method and innovative method of giving instructions or making learning to the learners. It sometimes helps the teacher to get some spare time, and that spare time will be used by the teachers to do some creative things, or the teacher can utilize that particular time for some creative abilities to develop some creative abilities among the teachers. It will also help to achieve the cognitive and affective aspects of the learner. If a program has been well developed, then we will able to ob- achieve the goals and objectives of the learning through that. There are some disadvantages also of program instruction. The first one is that all the learners will not be satisfied by this method of teaching. It is based on the theory of operant conditioning learning, and every learner cannot be satisfied. Only some students will be satisfied by that method of learning. And the second disadvantage that we have discussed is that sometimes the later reinforcement which was given by the programmer will not be an effective way to motivate the learner for learning. And the biggest disadvantage of that is that if the learner is giving the correct answer, then he will be motivated and interested to learn through the program. But what happens when the learner is not able to give the correct answer or the correct response? Then he will lose his interest to learn from this method of teaching. He will not be motivated to learn through this method of teaching, and he will think that this is not the uh, way, not the proper way to learn through this method. That program instruction is helping the learner to learn at his own pace, where and when they want to learn, but it also sometimes make unuseful for the bright students who will just skip the material which they think it's sharing some journal information or the common information. So thank you students. So in the next class we will discuss about the computer assistant instruction. Thank you so much for your patience listening.